coming up from the Northeast Live Studios in Guwahati. Northeast Tonight with Wasbir Hussain.
Hello and welcome to Northeast Tonight, the show that decodes the region. Clearly, the glimmer of hope has returned about the possibility of a solution to the protracted Naga issue. The NSCN-IM is all set to resume talks with the Government of India in New Delhi, breaking the stalemate. The deadlock had arisen after the NSCN-IM had said in no uncertain terms that there cannot be any solution without the Government of India conceding the demand for a separate flag and constitution for the Nagas. The talks between the two sides will resume after hectic back-and-forth parleys between the Core Committee on Naga Peace Talks headed by Nagaland Chief Minister Therieh, NEDA Convener and Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Peace Interlocutor A.K. Mishra. The big question is whether the Government of India has managed to work out a formula to present to the NSCN-IM to tackle its demand for a flag and constitution. And if there indeed is a formula, if a formula has indeed been worked out, what will be the NSCN-IM's response to it? To discuss the subject that has assumed a great sense of urgency because state assembly elections in Nagaland are due, I am joined from Kohima by Mr. Azo Neinu, co-chairman of the United Democratic Alliance government and NPF leader. Also in Kohima, I have Mr. Elu Ndang, General Secretary of the Naga Hoho. Joining me also from Nagaland capital is Mr. Theja, leader of the Naga Tribes Council. In Dimapur, I have Mr. Kahuto Chishi Sumi, Hereditary Sumi village chief and an activist. And joining me as well from the United States is Dr. Paul Pimomo, Professor Emeritus at the Washington Central University. Gentlemen, welcome to Northeast Tonight. I'd like to first go to you, Mr. Azo Neinu, as the co-chairman of the ruling alliance, that is the UDA, and an important member of the core committee on the Naga Peace Talks. Are you hopeful that a Naga solution is knocking at the doors? Do you think the talks that are going to be held in New Delhi, maybe tomorrow, do you think that will be able to break the deadlock?
Yes, we live with hope and we continue to live with hope. And our ray of hope has just brightened after the 14th September joint accordance signed by the IM and the 7 NPGGs. The other day, the core committee headed by our Honorable Chief Minister, the Deputy Chief Minister, the UDA Chairman, K.R. Zelang, and myself, we have put in very strong words to our IM brothers. And I think among all the meetings, day before yesterday's meeting was the most successful one, positive one. And I think tomorrow's meeting is going to be very, very crucial. And we also would like to hear the outcome of tomorrow's meeting. But tomorrow's meeting will not be the final meeting. They are also seeking for appointment with the Honorable Prime Minister. And I'm very sure Prime Minister will give an audience to them. Only after that meeting, something can come out. And we Nagas are hoping that at least before election, this solution or settlement should come about. And that was the clear message we have told our IM brothers before election, at least by December, something positive should come out. If not, if the elections are imposed, we have no option but to contest the elections.
Now, Mr. Neinu, tomorrow's meeting will be between the NSCN-IM And who is going to represent the government of India? Is it going to be the interlocutor, or do you think the Home Minister is also going to be present at this meeting tomorrow?
It is going to be AK Mishra, and I think IB director also will be there, to my understanding.
Right. This is a big breaking story right at the beginning of Northeast Tonight. This Tuesday evening, the big breaking story is that the NSCNIM and the Government of India is going to resume its dialogue tomorrow. The meeting will be attended by the NSCNIM delegation, which is already in New Delhi, headed by top NSCNIM leader Mr. V.S. Atem. And from the Government of India, it is going to be the interlocutor, A.K. Mishra. And of course, officials like the Director Intelligence Bureau are going to attend this meeting. Another big breaking story is that the government as well as the NSCNIM would be seeking a meeting with Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi. That is the big breaking story right at the top of Notice Tonight. Now let me go to you in Washington, Dr. Paul Pimomo, Professor Emeritus at the Washington Central University. Dr. Pimomo, what is the sense do you get? What is your gut feeling sitting many, many hundreds of miles away as you look at the situation? Do you feel a sense of optimism?
Mr. Hussain, thank you for having me on. Just a minute. Thank you for having me on. I was just listening to the minister, Mr. Neinu, and he is optimistic about the forthcoming conclusion to the negotiations. And I would like to join him not in his optimism, but in a hope that something different will come out this time. The reason I am hopeful that something reasonable and something hopeful will come is especially because on the 14th of September, just last week, there was a joint accordant between the NSCNIM and the NNPG Working Committee, facilitated by FNR, that they are going to work together after the impasse and the enmity that they have built up over the years. So that is the most positive sign for me. On the other hand, on the other side of the negotiation table, we have Government of India. And we have the Nagaland State Government Core Committee. And in this situation, the Core Committee is supposed to be facilitating the talks between Government of India and the Naga people, represented by two of these groups, that is IM and NNPG. With all due respect and honesty, I am wondering from this distance what the Nagaland government and the core committee are doing to persuade the government of India. FNR is working on the Nagas. How about the Nagaland State Government Core Committee, which is a surrogate government of the Indian government? What are they doing to bring about the other side?
All right.
Now, the thing is, the core issue is this. The problem is between Government of India and the Naga people. And what is the issue? Government of India has suppressed and oppressed the Naga people from having self-determination.
Dr. Pimomo, may I interrupt you? Dr. Pimomo? Don't you think it is not the time to talk about oppression and suppression when we are almost on the verge of signing a peace agreement? Don't you think so, really?
I would agree with you if this agreement were to put an end to the suppression and oppression. But unless the key issue is resolved, there will be a continuation of the oppression. Just let's be very serious. There is a negotiation and peace talks going on. What about AFSPA being imposed in Naga homeland? So
okay, Dr. Pimomo, I would like to, I would have to stop you because this is the opening remarks I'm getting from all my panelists. Now for the record, on the 31st of March this year, Union Home Minister Amit Shah announced that APSPA will be removed from larger parts, both in the states of Assam, Nagaland and Manipur, and that is the situation on the ground. I will come to my esteemed panelists. I have Mr. Elu Ndang from the Naga Hoho, Mr. Theja, leader of the Naga Tribes Council. I'll come to them and take their views, but let me go to Mr. Kahuto Chishi Sumi. Now, Mr. Kahuto, now you have been very critical in the past, but on 14th of September, a very, very important development took place in the Naga insurgency theater, because both the NSC and IM as well as the NNPG, they took the unprecedented step of sitting face to face and saying that from now on, we are not going to engage in a verbal war of words. We are not going to engage in armed conflicts. We are going to move ahead in a spirit of love with the objective of reaching the ultimate goal, that is a solution. Now, in view of this development and the talks beginning tomorrow, resuming tomorrow, what do you have to say?
Regarding it's nothing new. They have done it in the past also. And then they have things. They are very well organized on both sides. Okay? The days when they killed each other, those are over, long gone. And regarding the talks resuming tomorrow, talks have been going on for more than 20 years. And nothing concrete has come out so far. So I'm very skeptical.
Okay. Kahuto Chishi Sumi is a little bit skeptical there. I'll request my producers to cut the line and try afresh, because his audio is not that clear. I would like to go now to Mr. Elu Ndang, and then I'll go to Mr. Therieh. Mr. Elu Ndang, as a representative of the Naga Hoho, what do you think the 14th September unique development and talks resuming tomorrow? My straight question to you, do you think that the government of India has a proposal ready to present to the NSC and IM, or do you think the NSC and IM has a counter proposal ready to present to the government of India? What is the sense you are getting?
Wasbir, my network is so bad, I don't think I'll be able to participate.
No, I can hear you. You are very clear today. I can hear you very clearly. Carry on.
But I can't really get panelists' view.
Okay, please give your reaction. What do you think about tomorrow's meeting? What do you think the NSCN has a proposal to be presented to the government of India? Or do you get a sense that the government of India is ready with some kind of a formula to break the deadlock?
You see, the 14th September joint accordant is another historic moment for the Naga people. We believe that this accordant will pave way for better understanding amongst the Naga political groups. And with that message, we believe that even in the upcoming negotiations, the negotiators will definitely work out the best for the Naga people. And with optimism, we look forward. I don't think a negotiation is taking place with position being maintained by the Naga people, neither the government. I'm sure this resumption of the talk will break that lock and bring about better understanding.
Right. These talks will be for better understanding. Yes, and he has also exuded his optimism. Mr. Therieh, do you think an organization will be willing to go and resume dialogue after making it very clear that there can be no solution? I'm talking about the NSC and IM. It has made it very clear that there can be no solution unless their demand for a flag and constitution is granted. Now, after a lot of back and forth parleys between the core committee and the NSC and IM, the core committee met Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, the NEDA convener. The core committee met Mr. Amit Shah and the interlocutor. After that, we find the NSC and IM ready to go to New Delhi. The talks are resuming tomorrow. My question to you, Mr. Therieh, do you get a sense that the government of India is ready with some kind of a formula to break the deadlock, or do you think the NSC and IM is going to reach some kind of a middle path? What is your feeling?
Yeah, Mr. Wasbir, it's a high time both NSC and IM and Government of India realize it's a high time they understand each other. After talking for the last 25 years, I think they should understand each other very well and clear. They should also understand that the ground is prepared. People are willing, waiting for the solution. The sentiment of people must also be respected. You see the elected house, they are also unanimous. The 60 members are unanimous. And they also have offered to pave a way for this peace settlement. What more do they require? I think the two parties, if Government of India have political will, I think this is the time to deliver. It is for NSC and IM also to read between the lines and see what is possible and what is not possible. In negotiation, there has to be something which we give and we also take. So it's a high time that they reach an understanding.
Okay. Let me turn once again to Mr. Azo Neinu. Mr. Neinu, if I may ask you, I know it will not be possible for you to tell everything before the camera, but for our viewers, for the people of Nagaland, for the Nagas around the world, can you tell us how did you manage to convince the NSC and IM to go and resume the talks? Because that is very important. This question is very important because NSC and IM has made it very clear. 2,000 people attended the 31st May Emergency National Assembly at Camp Hebron. They came up with a absolutely clear-cut resolution saying that there will be no solution, there will be no signature on the dotted line unless the demand for a flag and constitution is resolved. Now, are the talks tomorrow going to start again from this point, or have you been able to make some progress in the meantime?
You see, Mr. Wasbir, they must have been convinced because of the efforts being put up by the core committee and the 60 legislators headed by the Chief Minister. There has been tremendous progress after 16 July resolution, especially on point 3, where we had asked the Government of India to revisit the framework agreement and also the competency clauses. Then after that, we had gone and met the Assam Chief Minister, sought his advice and sought his help. Then we met Home Minister. After that, we came back with Home Minister's message and we made it very clear to our IM brothers. Talks cannot continue for 25 years. How long can the talks continue? We must bring it to a logical conclusion. At the same time, we also told them Nagas are practically fed up of extortion, threat, intimidation, multiple taxation. How long can we live under threat and intimidation? You must resume your talks. And Home Minister Amit Shah's message to us was very clear. He said, whatever they want, tell them to meet me. Tell them to ask. We are ready to give them anything besides our offer of the flag and constitution. So, our Chief Minister, including our Deputy Chief Minister, including our UDA Chairman, along with me, we had also given a lot of pressure to our IM brothers to resume the talks. So they have decided to resume the talks, and I believe tomorrow's talks is going to be very, very crucial. But nevertheless, it's not going to be the end because of the fact that they are going to talk, revisiting the framework agreement and also the competing clauses.
Now,
but their request is they want an audience with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister should also honor their request and meet them in order to conclude.
now you are saying,
This
Mr.
talk.
Neinu, Mr.
Thank you.
Neinu, you are saying that the NSCN IM is wanting a meeting with the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Now, as the core committee, have you requested
They have
for,
sought an appointment.
you have, as the core committee, are you trying for an appointment?
They are trying from their own channel, but nevertheless, if they want us to interfere, we can also try and help.
Now, before going to Dr. Pimomo once again and the other esteemed panelist, Mr. Neinu, when you said that the Union Home Minister's message was very clear,
Yes.
tell them we'll be ready to give them anything. Now, does it mean that they are ready to reconsider, the government of India, do you think, is ready to reconsider their stand on the flag and constitution?
No. What I said is they are ready to give them anything what they ask for besides the flag and constitution.
Except the flags and constitution. All right. So it's very clear
The
that
flag and constitution, government of India has already offered their terms. So beyond that, they cannot offer.
okay. So now, Mr. Neinu could say whatever he can say. Actually, we cannot expect a government leader to say everything. We know that. Now, the point is, the government of India has earlier said that the Naga people can use the flag for cultural purposes. That was something which the NSCN-IM had not agreed. Now, Mr. Elu Ndang, do you think the NSCN-IM also will be practical? Do you think the NSCN-IM will be pragmatic this time during the discussions?
Wasbir, on this particular contentious issues, I don't want to pass any comment immediately because the talk has resumed once again. And let us wait and see the outcome of the talk. I don't want to talk anything on presumptions.
Right. Absolutely. I think that is fair enough. Mr. Kahuto, we have heard a responsible member of the government, Mr. Azo Neinu, who is the co-chairman, member of the core committee. He said that the Union Home Minister has said very clearly that we are ready to give everything, whatever the Naga leadership, the Naga rebel leadership ask, Naga political leaders ask, except the flag and constitution. Now, the flag and constitution, except what was offered earlier. That means the government of India had earlier offered that to the Nagas that, okay, you can use the flag, you are very welcome to use the flag for private occasions, for cultural functions, for traditional use and traditional events, etc. Now, what do you think? Because NNPG is very clear on this, they said that we are ready to sign the accord, and if there is any issue, we will continue discussing later on, because we are going to live here, the government of India is also going to stay. Nobody is running away from anywhere. So NNPG's stand is clear. Now, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? What is your stand?
I cannot speculate on what will happen tomorrow.
Yeah, but about the flag, do you think that it is necessary?
As far as I know, the government of India said that they were willing to grant the flag for social and cultural purposes. I'm not aware of any statement about the constitution, whether the government of India is going to grant it or not grant. So, what can I say? Because
But
I'm not
do you
aware
think
of,
do you think this opportunity should not be missed by anybody?
if there's anything good for the people of Nagaland, nobody is going to object to it. The problem is there's no transparency in the whole process. The framework agreement is simple English. There's only one word, which is a sticking point. That is the competencies. We want to know what are the competencies that the NSNIM wants. That is
Mr.
all.
Kahuto, we only hope, that things will be different. This round, as Dr. Pimomo said, I think this round is going to be different than the previous rounds of negotiations. Let's hope tomorrow's discussions is going to be different. Before coming to Mr. Theja, let me go to United States once again to Dr. Paul Pimomo. A well-known commentator, Professor Emeritus at the Washington Central University, watching the Naga issue from a distance. Now, Dr. Pimomo, how much do you attach him? What kind of importance do you attach to pragmatism? At the end of the day, certain opportunities, if lost, can never come back.
Yes, pragmatism is the foundation of any effective political action, either of government or of the people who have been oppressed by any powers that be, as the Nagas and government of India are in. I don't understand why the constitution and the flag have somehow become the sacred cow for government of India, especially after they have signed the framework agreement with shared sovereignty and unique history of Naga history and society. When we talk about sovereignty, of course, it is a very difficult subject, but it has all kinds of interpretations, and its practice is very varied. Sovereignty is a subject that we can postpone the details on. But the real issue is the Naga people have been fighting for their peoplehood for 75 years. We have fought a war with India, struggled for 7 decades. They killed one another. We have made peace, the latest one on the 14th of September, right? So after all of these, what does the government of India done in order to honor the original problem? That is their repression of the Naga wish for self-determination. Now, the real issue here is the logical conclusion, as our Minister Neinu has said. The logical conclusion is this. I think it'll land most sort of versed observers of the Indo-Naga the problems will agree with me that the government of India cannot simply say we are for shared sovereignty, we recognize the unique history of Nagas, and it is going to recognize the historical, political rights of the Nagas to self-determine their distinct identity.
Dr. Pimomo,
those have no meaning unless you are entered into a formalization of the peoplehood of the Nagas through a mandatory sort of statute. It has got to be legally enforceable with a timetable. And what is it on? If the peoplehood of the Nagas cannot be realized unless there is a pathway created for Naga homeland, the ancestral homeland.
But
after all of the struggles, we can't even have
let me ask you
for the Nagas.
Dr.
What
Pimomo,
has the government of India been doing on their part?
We have noted your point, right? Dr. Pimomo. My question is, when the NSC and IM had agreed to enter into a dialogue with the government of India, when the NSC and IM had agreed to enter into a dialogue with the government of India, first we were hearing a lot about the separate Naga homeland. Then we heard a lot about Nagaland, where all the Naga areas in the northeast and outside will be under one administrative umbrella. I mean, but now the point is, do you really expect a sovereign government, when you negotiate with a sovereign government like the government of India, do you think they'll be willing to, give away part of their territory to their own people and say that, okay, from tomorrow you are free?
Oh, we can put that comment on the opposite direction as well. Nagas are a people. If we can recognize that, then are you telling the Nagas that they should be divided, they should offer themselves to be divided, partitioned into two different countries, into 4 states in India itself, and be ready to accept what we call a just and reasonable solution to the 75-year-old problem? I don't think that is rational.
Okay, it all depends on to what extent the NSC and IM is able to place their point of view, what percentage or what portions of their demand the NSC and IM is able to get. That is something will be very, very crucial. We'll all look forward, because I am not saying anything. I was just asking this question to get your point of view. This was just I was playing devil's advocate just to get your point of view. I'll come back to you, Dr. Pimomo. Let me once again go to Mr. Therieh. Mr. Therieh, I was asking Dr. Pimomo how necessary is it for negotiating parties to be pragmatic? Because the government of India also needs to be pragmatic. The Naga leaders also needs to be pragmatic. I think no one is going to dispute that today.
Yeah. When this negotiation started in between the government of India and Naga political groups, both sides understood each other very well. And they said at the moment, sovereignty cannot be on the table. They understand each other that integration is not practical at the moment. And that was the condition. Flag is a symbolic representation. Constitution depends on what they have negotiated. It depends on the political status. After negotiation, after the agreement is signed, we will come to know the political status of the Naga people. And therefore, I think flag and constitution should reflect that political status. So at the moment, I think this should not be a stumbling block. They should practically negotiate, because they have decided to negotiate for a peaceful coexistence between the government of India and Naga people based on contemporary realities. And we all know what is contemporary realities. So we should understand each other, and based on these contemporary realities, we have to work out as peaceful coexistence. And all those things which we cannot discuss at the moment, post-solution, this can be pursued through political and democratic process.
Right. Absolutely.
So
I'll go for it.
It is important for both the entities to understand each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll go for a very short break. I'll come back and go straight to Dr. Azo Neinu to get more views on what the government thinks is the roadmap, to try and get a sense of the roadmap from tomorrow when the talks between the government of India and the NSCI and IM resume. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Let me go once again to Mr. Azo Neinu, co-chairman of the ruling UDA in Nagaland and a key member of the core committee on the Naga peace talks. Now, Mr. Azo Neinu, do you think the core committee members are going to join these discussions in New Delhi at some point of time?
I don't think so. But in case we are invited, we are ready to take part anytime. But Mr. Wasbir, let me give you the exact status of the flag which was offered. Government of India has decided to recognize the flag to be used in social and cultural events. But our Chief Minister has requested the Home Minister saying that it should not be a social and cultural flag, but it should be a civil flag. And to that, our Home Minister Amit Shah didn't give a reply. He not replying means one way or the other agreeing to the request of the Honorable Chief Minister. So that is one step ahead.
Now, Mr. Neinu, can you explain the difference between a civil flag, as you say, and a socio-cultural flag that was earlier offered? How is the civil flag different?
See, in the country, no state has a recognized flag, but the government of India has agreed to recognize the flag as a civil flag to be used in all occasions, except in statutory offices.
Okay, not only in cultural functions, but on all occasions, except in statutory offices.
Yes.
Okay, this is a big breaking news once
Yes.
again. This is a very big
That
breaking
means
news.
That
Right.
means it cannot fly. It cannot fly parallel with the
National
Indian
flag.
national flag.
Right. So this is a big breaking story at this point where Mr. Azo Neinu is saying that the Chief Minister of Nagaland had offered, or for that matter, the government of Nagaland or the core committee has come up with
requested the Home Minister,
requested Union Home Minister Amit Shah that the Nagas be allowed to fly a civil flag on all occasions, not just cultural functions, all occasions except in statutory offices, meaning that the civil flag will not fly parallel to the tricolor or for that matter parallel to the national flag. And earlier the government of India had offered a flag to be used on socio-cultural occasions. I think this is, according to Mr. Neinu, this is one step forward. Would you like to add something, Mr. Neinu? Would you like to add?
Yes. No, that's it. That's enough. That's
Now, what about the Constitution? What about the Constitution?
Constitution, they have already agreed. I have already agreed. The so-called Yazabo, which means Naga Basic Law, will be incorporated in the Indian Constitution.
Okay, if that means the big story at this point in time, if the discussions resume tomorrow, discussions are resuming tomorrow, if that is the formula prepared by the core committee under the leadership of Mr. Nafurio, this must have also, I presume, had the approval of NEDA convener Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma. He must have been briefed on this because Mr. Nafurio and the core committee leaders had met Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma earlier this month in Guwahati. Then they had already met Mr. Amit Shah. Mr. Amit Shah, where Chief Minister had made this proposal that there will be a civil flag be granted for the Nagas to be used on all occasions, and that it will not be used in statutory offices or it will not fly parallel to the national flag. Now, if the NSCNIM agrees to this, the solution is reached. So the matter is clinched because the Yazabo or the Naga constitution, according to Mr. Neinu, the government of India has already agreed to incorporate it into the Indian constitution as part of it. Now, if this is the case, viewers, if this is the case, this is the biggest story tonight. If this is the case, if the NSCNIM agrees to the civil flag offer, civil flag idea, the civil flag proposal initiated by Nagaland Chief Minister Nafurio and his colleagues in the core committee, then the Naga issue is on the verge of being resolved. Let me take quick reactions to this. Mr. Elu Ndang, what do you think? Big revelation by Mr. Azo Neinu. Quick reaction, Elu Ndang.
Was there stated tomorrow the talk is place. And that's where the outcome of
We'll connect you on the phone. We'll connect you on the phone. We'll connect you on the phone to take a reaction. But before that, Mr. Kahuto, your reaction. Mr. Kahuto, very quickly.
The claim that the government of India has agreed to incorporate the NSA-IM years ago is a complete lie.
No, don't be cynical. Please don't be
No,
cynical.
I'm not cynical. I'm
Don't
saying
be
facts.
cynical, please. Mr. Kahuto,
I
we have
have
to
said
respect, we have to,
no.
see,
Mr.
who do we
Hussain,
believe?
please give me a
No,
hearing.
let me tell you.
Please give me a hearing.
Listen to me, please
I have
listen
said
to
it time
please
and
listen to
again.
me, please listen to me. We are not part of the negotiating committee. You are not a negotiator. I am not a negotiator. Now, if we have to believe, somebody. No. We have to believe somebody. We have to believe somebody. No, please listen to me first. We have to believe somebody, and we have a responsible member of the core committee sitting in this panel. When he is saying,
I don't
we have to
consider
believe
these
it.
people responsible. These people are irresponsible. They make statements out of the top of their hat. They mislead the Naga people.
No, you please don't be personal. Don't be
No.
personal. Please don't
It's
get
not
personal. No
I am
personal
passionate.
attacks.
I am passionate.
No personal
It's
attack,
not
please.
personal. I am passionate about the rights of the Naga people.
Okay, that everybody, all the Nagas are passionate.
Professor Pimomo has been talking about the suppression or
No, let us
oppression of the
not
Naga
talk.
people.
No, let us not be personal.
The
I'm
Naga
asking
people are
you.
being suppressed and oppressed by the undergrounds and by the state government.
Please come up with rational observation. I am asking you.
No.
I am
These are
asking
rational
you a
observations.
simple
These are
thing.
true.
No, let us not waste
The
time.
reason why I have a following is because
No,
I
let
speak
us
the
not
truth.
waste time. I am asking you a simple thing. The government, Nagaland Chief Minister has proposed a civil flag.
He's lying. He's lying.
Now, if the
He's a
NSC and
liar.
I am...
Rio is a liar.
So you don't want to comment. It's okay.
No, I commented. Mr. Nephew Rio is a liar.
Okay, fine. Let us not get personal. I will not allow personal comments on this program. We'll have to mute you. We'll have to mute you. We'll have to mute you. We'll have to put you on mute. I'm sorry about that. I don't want any personal comment. Let us come up with a healthy discussion. We always have all views. You were on my show earlier. So let us not go into this. Now, Mr. Therieh, what is your comment? If the civil flag is accepted by the NSC and IM, I think we are nearing a solution.
Yeah, without sovereignty, flag is just a symbolic representation. So whatever is agreed by both the parties, I think there's hardly anything to say about that. The aspiration of the people should be reflected, and that is important. But as far as constitution is concerned, there cannot be a ready-made constitution to be incorporated in the Indian constitution or a parallel constitution. The constitution must derive from the people. It is for the people, by the people, of the people. Without people, there cannot be a ready-made constitution. So no constitution can be ready-made, accepted, or incorporated in the constitution. I think this part have to be understood. But as far as the customary laws, as far as the special provisions which are there under Article 371A, if it is fortified,
okay,
or if it is codified,
all right,
definitely
got
it will become a part of the Indian constitution.
All right. Mr. Elu Ndang, your quick comment. I'll go to Ms. Dr. Pimomo in the US. Mr. Elu Ndang, my question is simple. Mr. Neinu has said that the government, Nagaland Chief Minister or the core committee, whatever we call it, have proposed that there should be a civil flag which will be used by the Naga people on all occasions. The only thing is that it will not be flown in statutory offices parallel to the national flag. Now, it is all up to the NSC and IM. We are nobody. We are nobody to comment. Now, NSC and IM is the negotiating party. Now, my question, I'm asking you a simple question. If the NSC and IM accepts this proposal, that means we are nearing a solution, isn't it?
Well, Wasbir, every Nagas have been looking for an early settlement.
Right.
And therefore, any positive steps taken by either the government or civil societies, I think we are contributing much to the solution. However, I am not comfortable to further comment because the official negotiation is going to take place tomorrow. So I wish to rather wait to see the outcome of the talk tomorrow.
Right. Absolutely. Yes, we have to wait and watch what happens tomorrow. After all, the NSC and IM, the core committee members, the NNPGs, these are all led by leaders who are extremely mature people. And the Naga people have also been very, very closely observing the developments. I can understand that we'll have to wait and watch as to how things unfold. Dr. Pimomo, what do you think, the civil flag proposal? We have heard it for the first time today after Mr. Neinu said that the Chief Minister of Nagaland had come up with this proposal, and that could be the compromise formula. Whether or not the NSCN accepts it or not, that is up to the NSCN. We don't know. We are just asking. We are just discussing the issue. Dr. Pimomo.
Yes. Any movement forward between the parties of the negotiation table will be welcome. As you said, we are not party to the negotiations ourselves. But one thing has got to be absolutely clearly understood and done, which is the historical political right of the Nagas. Because the whole Indo-Naga problem comes out of that disagreement, the recognition of the peoplehood of the Nagas. So, any agreement, peaceful resolution, will have to include the statutory formalization of the peoplehood of the Nagas. It has to be legally enforceable with a timetable. And so there is a lot of work for government of India to do, not just wage war and impose military laws. It's a lot of work to do. They have to convince the states. They have also to work with Myanmar. There cannot be the peoplehood of any group of people unless there is a homeland. And the whole problem, the whole core issue is about that, the peoplehood of the Nagas, which means we have to have a homeland which is formalized and politically recognized by the powers that be, in this case, starting with the government of India, right? So we can start with what government of India needs to do, and then later on we can go to Myanmar.
Right.
But I think there is a lot of work for government of India to do. They have been shirking. They have been just throwing the burden on the Nagas. It is unfair. So what is a right, just, and honorable solution for the Nagas?
Dr. Pimomo, you are talking about the peoplehood of the Nagas at a time when a section of Nagas have intensified their demand for a separate state.
Yes.
I'm talking about the ENPO.
Given, that's right. Given the logic of the creation of an Indian surrogate state in 1962, 3, and so on, and for all of these years, given that history and logic, it becomes pretty reasonable in a sense for any district to demand their own self-rule. After all, this is about Naga self-determination. And so if you oppress people for 70 years, then every group is going to want to have its own self-determination, and Nagas will be rising up against each other. And this is part of the history that Nagas have been put into. Okay. And I'm not saying that Nagas don't bear blame. As I said, we have even killed one another. But if India is really serious to solve this Indo-Naga problem, we have to address the peoplehood of the Nagas.
Right,
meaning
point taken.
The homeland.
Dr. Pimomo, your point taken. I'm running out of time. I don't know whether Mr. Kahuto was very agitated. I don't know whether he was there, is there or not. But Mr. Azo Neinu, I'm running short of time. Now this issue, at the end of the day, the core committee has worked very hard. The Naga civil society has worked very hard. The NSCN-IM and the NNPGs have worked very, very hard. That is the reason why it has reached an advanced stage. From now, there seems to be there should be no looking back. Do you agree with this view? No looking back from here.
Yes. Yes. You see, the offer of the flag, the request made by the Chief Minister, is one very step forward. After this, there will be a comprehensive study on both the agreed position and also the competency clauses. After that, they will bring out a comprehensive common draft. After it is brought out, it will be put in public domain for publics to accept. Then the last step, inking will come. So
right.
I think this is one very big step forward. We're looking forward to the solution before Christmas, before elections.
Big revelation again. Solution expected before Christmas. Everyone is looking forward to that. We have missed many Christmas since 1997 when the ceasefire happened between the NSCN-IM and the government of India. Many political leaders on the Indian side took active role. They discussed with the NSCN-IM across international capitals, and after that there has been about 100 rounds of negotiations between the government of India and the NSCN-IM leadership. In the meantime, several factions have emerged, and now in the last 3 to 4 years, the NNPGs have appeared on the scene presenting their alternate point of view. They have also come up with their agreed position. And now the roadmap from here on, viewers, is that if the NSCN-IM agrees agrees to the demand of a civil flag, or modifies that demand, or presents a counter proposal that is accepted by the government of India, that means the accord is going to be signed anytime soon. But the roadmap here on, according to Mr. Neinu, is that after the NSCN-IM agrees on the or resolves the issue of a flag and constitution, then both sides, there will be one single draft agreement will be prepared, because the NSCN-IM point of view, the framework agreement has to be looked into, and as far as the NNPGs are concerned, the agreed positions have to be looked into, the competencies have to be worked and merged, and there will be a single draft, and then it will be put into the public domain for the Naga people to have a look, and only then the signatures are going to come. But if the views of some of the panelists are going to be taken in right earnest, even by the government of India, assuming, then they have to work with Nagas in Myanmar as well, because they are talking about the peoplehood. Now, this is not a very, very easy thing to do, because these are Nagas as of today, they may belong to the same ethnic stock, but it's a separate country. But nothing is impossible. Government of India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi is working overtime to improve its neighborhood first policy, and therefore nothing is impossible. But the things are still very, very complex and slippery, but we all hope for the best, because the Nagas have to get an acceptable and honorable solution to their 7 decades old problem. I thank all my panelists for participating in the show tonight, and the viewers for watching the program. Good night and goodbye.